guys, it's Rebecca. So today I'm going to be doing a New Year book haul. I got quite a lot of books over Christmas, just in different ways. Like I got some as presents, I got myself some books, and I have managed to acquire over 12 books. I have literally so many books on my physical TBR. I have loads of books that I need to read on audiobook. I've just got like so many different books that I need to read, so I probably shouldn't be getting more books, but I love asking for books as presents over Christmas, and I love buying myself books over Christmas. So I just thought I'd do a little New Year book haul for all of the new books that I have going into the new year, and I'm going to be so excited to get around to these. Hopefully I actually do get around to them in 2024, because I have a terrible habit of getting books for Christmas and then not reading them for like 4 years plus. That's not very good, so I definitely want to make an effort to actually read these books that I got this year. So I am from Belfast and I always return home for Christmas, and that means that I'm going to have to pack a load of books that I got at Christmas into a suitcase. I realised that I had bought like the lower weight for a suitcase to put in a hold, so I had all of these books that were definitely going to make the suitcase way too heavy. But it is quite expensive around Christmas time to buy a suitcase in the hold. It's even more money whenever you go over the weight, just like usual, and it was £12 per kilo, so I was like, you know what, I'm gonna have to like take some of these books out. But I did have to pay quite a lot to get these books back. You know what, I don't regret it, and I'm really happy with them, but I did have to leave a few behind, that's the point. So there are some that are missing from this, but I'll just put pictures of them up and I'll get them physically the next time I go home, which is going to be in February. So anyway, I'm just like kind of like rambling on now, but let's just get into the books that I got. The first book that I got on Christmas is The Little Friend by Donna Tartt. I am a massive fan of The Secret History. I absolutely love it. It was probably my favourite book of 2023. I knew that I just had to get all of Donna Tartt's books. I'm pretty sure the only books that she's written is The Little Friend, The Secret History and The Goldfinch, and I already have The Goldfinch and of course The Secret History, so I knew that I had to ask for this one for Christmas, so this was on my list of books that I wanted. This book is essentially about a 9-year-old who unfortunately passes away under circumstances which appear to be foul play. So the 9-year-old boy's sister sets out to find his murderer and find out what happened, and I think strange things start to happen along the way. So I'm really intrigued and I just know it's going to be good. I'm not entirely sure what the ratings for this one are in comparison to The Goldfinch and The Secret History, because I never really hear this one being talked about, but I'm really excited to read it. It's kind of weird because this cover matches The Secret History cover, but it doesn't match The Goldfinch. That's kind of weird because it would be quite nice to have them all matching, but I'm so excited to read this one anyway. I'm probably going to be putting it off because I don't want to have finished all of her books, but now that I have this and The Goldfinch, I'll be more likely to read another one of them. So the next book that I got was a present from my brother as his Secret Santa present, and that was The Lighthouse Witches by C.J. Cook. This one actually caught my eye in Waterstones whenever I was out book shopping, and I was just like browsing through the books and I noticed this one. I had never heard of it before. I mean, it just might be just me, but I have never seen it on BookTube or Book Talk or anything, and I hardly ever go for books that I just find in a bookshop. I'm really bad for just going for either like classics that I've heard of or really popular books. So I saw this one and I just thought, oh, I wonder what it is, because like I really enjoyed The Wicked Deep, and that's set around like a lighthouse and about like witches and stuff like that. I was like, that sounds like The Wicked Deep, I would quite like this. So I'll just read out the back of this one because it's like really quick and it's like easy to describe it that way. So it says, upon the cliffs of a remote Scottish island stands a lighthouse. Strange and terrible events have happened here. It started with a witch hunt. Now, centuries later, islanders are vanishing. Liv, Stay and her children don't believe in witches or curses, but within months of arriving on the island, her daughter Luna is the only one of them left. 20 years later, Luna's missing sister turns up out of the blue. She is exactly the same girl Luna remembers. Same face, same smile, same age. Faced with the impossible, it's up to Luna to find out what really happened at the lighthouse all those years ago. That just sounds really, really good, and I just knew that I wanted it as soon as I heard of that, but I didn't buy it for myself and I ended up getting it as a present. It was really weird because then I was like reading just the start pages of this and there was a bit of information on the author, and it turns out she's actually from Belfast and she did her PhD at Queen's University in Belfast, which I just thought was like so weird considering I came across it in Belfast. I'm from Belfast and the author's from Belfast, so that's really weird because it was just like one of the first books I've ever just found randomly. I don't know, I mean maybe it's really popular and I've just not heard of it, I don't know, but I'm really excited to read it. So the next book is one that I have been really wanting for years now, and that is If We Were Villains by M.L. Rio. I am so excited to have this because it is a dark academia. Ever since The Secret History, I just know that I need to read more books like that. I have heard that some people actually prefer this over The Secret History, so that just really intrigued me, and to be honest I probably won't find out anything more about this because that's just enough to have me sold. I'm so excited to read it and I'm really intrigued to see which one I prefer, or maybe I'll just love them both equally and I'll have a new favourite book, hopefully. The next book that I got is another one that I got for Christmas as a present, and that is The Vanishing Act of Esme Lenox by Maggie O'Farrell. I absolutely loved Hamnet. It's one of my all-time favourite books and I love Maggie O'Farrell's writing. It's like reading a fairy tale. I absolutely love it. I really enjoyed The Marriage Portrait by her as well. So I've been trying to collect the rest of her books. From what I know, her earlier books don't have as good of a rating as books like Hamnet and The Marriage Portrait, which are her newer books, but it hasn't really stopped me from trying to go back and collecting all of the books that I can by her because I just want to read them all and see which ones that I like. This one is pretty short, so I'll probably try and read this one soon because I haven't read an actual short book in so long. All of the books that I read are like 400 pages plus, but essentially this one is about a woman who was quite outspoken and didn't really follow society's rules in Edinburgh in the 1930s. The story follows years later whenever a woman called Iris receives a letter from a woman who is apparently her great aunt who was put in a psychiatric unit. So it's essentially a story of Iris trying to figure out how Esme ended up in a psychiatric unit and how she was kept from Iris and how she was kept from a whole family for her entire life. Maggie O'Farrell is absolutely amazing at writing historical fiction, so this one is definitely intriguing and I absolutely can't wait to read it. The next book is also one that I received as a present for Christmas from Emily over at Emily Kathleen Reads. I'll leave her channel in the description so that you can go and check that out. It was so nice of her to send me a book, and she sent me Persuasion by Jane Austen. These books, I have them on my wish list because I really want to collect these editions because I do have like a big Jane Austen collection of all of her novels, and that's what I originally read Pride and Prejudice out of, but it's just too annoying having like to read out of like a massive collection, so I want to just collect smaller nice editions. I already have Sense and Sensibility in these editions, so I added this one to my wish list and Emily really nicely gifted me this. So this one actually has quite a short description in the book, so I just think it's easier if I read this out because I'm not actually sure what this one's about. I just want to read all of Jane Austen's books. So it says, 8 years ago, Anne Elliot bowed to pressure from her family and made the decision not to marry the man she loved, Captain Wentworth. Now circumstances have conspired to bring him back onto her social circle, and Anne finds her old feelings for him reignited. However, when they meet again, Wentworth behaves as if they're strangers and seems more interested in her friend Louisa. In this, her final novel, Jane Austen tells the story of a love that endures the test of time and society with humour, insight and tenderness. That sounds so amazing and I absolutely cannot wait to read it. It also has this really nice quote on the back, which I'll read out as well. It says, "You pierce my soul. I am half agony, half hope. I have loved none but you." So I'm just so excited to read this. Thank you so much, Emily, for getting me this. I absolutely love it. So the next book I got was also a gift from Emily, and as I said, again, I've left her channel in the description so you can check that out. But she bought me The Little Paris Bookshop by Nina George. The Little Paris Bookshop, to my knowledge, is about a man who owns a bookshop, and the concept is essentially that he heals people emotionally through selling them books that are going to help them through all of their problems in life. But the one problem is that he was never able to heal all of his problems himself through literature because whenever he was younger he lost the only person that he loved. Around the time when she left, she did leave him a letter but he has never opened it. But in the novel he does decide to eventually open it and see what's within, and then he goes on an adventure to find her or find more missing pieces in the story. I love the idea of books like set in bookstores. I don't think I've actually read any or that many of them, but I really want to try and start reading more about books set in bookstores because it just sounds really interesting. So this one has been on my wish list for ages. I found out about it like literally years ago. So thank you so much, Emily, for getting me that because I have wanted this one for ages. The next book that I got was also a present, and that is Magnolia Park's The Long Way Home. My friend Lily gifted me this one for Christmas and I was so excited to get this one because I absolutely cannot wait to read it. I'll definitely be reading this one soon. I recently finished Daisy Hates, so this is the third book in the Magnolia Park series. The first book is Magnolia Parks and that follows the character Magnolia Parks, but then the second book is Daisy Hates and that's in the character Daisy Hates' point of view, but then it switches back to Magnolia Parks and then again to Daisy Hates. So as I said, this is the third one and we're back in Magnolia Parks' point of view. I'm really excited to see that. We got little snippets of Magnolia's point of view at the end of Daisy Hates, so I'm just really excited to read this one. I'm going to be reading this literally as soon as I can. I'm so excited. I love these books so much. The next book that I got was also a present, and that is The Prophet Song by Paul Lynch. This one I actually got as a present from a Secret Santa we did at work. Somebody I work with actually gifted me this, which was really nice to actually be given a book, just because he actually knew that I would really like to have a book rather than anything else. So that was really nice just to be given a book. This is one that I probably wouldn't have picked up myself, so it's always good getting books from other people who just kind of pick a book that they think that you might like. They're not going to be ones that you are just like really popular booktube ones, and they're not going to be ones that I would typically pick myself, so that was really nice. I'm not entirely sure what this one is actually about. I know that it's set in Ireland, but I will just read out the synopsis because it is quite short and then we can find out together exactly what it's about. So it says, on a dark wet evening in Dublin, scientist and mother of four, Ailish Stack, answers her front door to find the GNSB on her step. Two officers from Ireland's newly formed secret police are here to interrogate her husband, a trade unionist. Ireland has fallen apart. The country is in the grip of a government turning towards tyranny, and when her husband disappears, Ailish finds herself caught within the nightmare of a logic of a society that is quickly unravelling. How far will she go to save her family, and what or who is she willing to leave behind? It'll be really interesting to read this one just because it's not something that I would usually pick up, and it was also the winner of the Booker Prize for 2023. That'll be really interesting. I'm sure it's absolutely amazing, so I'll be really interested to get around to this one. The next one is one that I'm so excited to have, and that is A Court of Silver Flames by Sarah J Maas. I am currently making my way through the Acour books and this is the last one in the series. I still need to get A Court of Frost and Starlight before I can read this one because I haven't read that one yet, but it's absolutely amazing to have a beautiful hardback. I'm trying to collect all of the books in hardback because I got A Court of Wings and Ruin for my birthday from my parents. That was in hardback. I had previously had all the paperbacks, so I got a hardback of that one, and then I just thought, you know what, I'll get the hardbacks from now on and then I'll just try and work back and get all of the hardbacks eventually. Since I don't have this one at all yet, I did ask for a hardback version of this. I think I must have forgotten to put A Court of Frost and Starlight on my list, but I really wanted this one anyway, so I was so happy to get it. But basically this was a gift from my boyfriend and I'm just so excited to read this and read the rest of the series because I love Sarah J Maas so much. The next book that I got was actually one that I bought myself in the Waterstones half price hardback sale. I got this one today actually, and that is The Wind and Stair by Jessie Norman. This one is again one that I just happened to find and I thought was really interesting whenever I came across it. I have never heard of this one before, but whenever I saw it today in the sale and I read the back, I just thought, you know what, I have to get that because it's only £10, so I really want that. So this one is set in Elizabethan England. It follows the story of the rivalry between Francis Bacon and Edward Coke, who I've never actually heard of before. I'm not sure if he's a fictional character or not, I'll have to look into it, but I'm so interested in the Elizabethan period, so I just thought that it sounded so good, so I absolutely can't wait to read it. I thought it was such a good deal for a hardback, and I just thought it was nice to pick up a book that I had never heard of before, but one that just sounds really interesting to me, so I absolutely can't wait to read this. I'll try and get this around to this one really soon. The next book that I got is also also a present that I got for Christmas, and that is The Distance Between Us by Maggie O'Farrell. Again, I really want to collect all of the Maggie O'Farrell books that I don't yet have. I'm not entirely sure what this one's about, so the synopsis on the back does sound pretty short, so I'll just read that out. I am sorry that I'm just reading some of these out, but sometimes it's just easier to do that whenever I'm not entirely sure what the plot is. So it says, on a cold London afternoon, Stella encounters a man she has not seen for many years, whose face she instantly recognises, or thinks she does. At exactly the same moment in Hong Kong, Jake is realising that the crowd around him celebrating Chinese New Year is about to turn dangerous. They know nothing of each other's existence, but both flee their lives. Jake in search of a place so remote it doesn't appear on any map, and Stella for a destination in Scotland, the significance of which only her sister Nina will understand. This one again seems kind of like a thriller kind of book. It'll be interesting to see how both of these characters' lives interlink, even though they are so far apart, and I'm just really excited to see what Maggie O'Farrell does with this book, and I'm just going to be excited to read it again just because it's Maggie O'Farrell. The next book that I got was also one that I got as a present for Christmas, and I have been wanting this one for ages now, and that is Babel by R.F. Kuang. I have not read any R.F. Kuang books yet, but I do have Yellowface. I got that for my birthday, and I'm definitely wanting to read that soon. But I've also heard such amazing things about Babel, so I'm definitely going to be reading this one as soon as I can. I have heard this one has like dark academia vibes. I've heard also that it is a commentary on colonialism. That just sounds really intriguing to me. It is also set in Oxford, so that has that kind of like dark academia vibes. Apparently it's just like absolutely amazing, so I cannot wait to get around to this one. As I said, just so excited to read it and so excited to see what R.F. Kuang's writing is like, finally. Okay, so my camera just overheated, so I don't know what I was saying, but I'm just going to continue on to the final book that I got. I'm pretty sure this was the final book. I might have missed something out, but this is the final book, another one that I wasn't able to bring with me, and that is Shakespeare, The Man Who Pays the Rent by Judi Dench. I found this one in Waterstones in Belfast on the half-price hardback sale as well. I love Shakespeare so much. I did my dissertation on his tragedies, and I just love everything to do with Shakespeare. I especially love books about Shakespeare, so I just thought I need to get it whenever I saw it, because I was kind of like, I don't know if I want to pay full price like just as it came out, because it is kind of recent. I didn't go out of my way to get it, but then whenever I saw it on half price, I just thought, you know what, I have to get it. It was just a bit too heavy for me to bring in my suitcase, and thankfully I didn't, considering I did have to pay extra because of the weight of all of the books. I'm really excited to get around to that one, and I'll be getting that as well whenever I go back home in February. I'll be bringing that back here, so I'll definitely be reading that one soon, and I'm going to be so excited to get around to it. It is Judi Dench talking about her experiences of acting Shakespeare on stage. I'm not entirely sure what angle that's in or what she specifically talks about, or if there's a specific topic around that, but that is all of the books that I got over Christmas and just in the last couple of days. So I am so excited about all of my new books, and I can't wait to get around to them. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you did enjoy it, then I would really appreciate it if you could like and subscribe. Let me know what books that you got for Christmas, or if you have bought yourself any books recently, because I would love to hear about that. Thank you again for watching, and I will see you in the next one.